And it's just a little bit slow doing its thing here. Just that one shader compiler. Just plugging away. Alright, so alright, so if tiling is checked, the noise will repeat over the specified repeat size. If you want to bake out some tiling noise, the setup is simple. Alright, so we got this, but the tiling is not... I'm not seeing this tiling stuff actually do anything for us. So alright, so it looks like for this to actually tile properly, you have to have the tiling size and the scale of the object actually like multiples of each other or something like that. So like if this is 32, I should be able to have like a scale of 8 and have it tile. No, it has to be like a multiple of 32. So if it's 16, does that work? No. If it's 32, then it works. So for this tiling to work properly, the repeat size has to be the same size of the scale. So does this work if it's 64 and 64? Yeah, it looks like that's what it has to be. Alright, well let's fix the blueprint so that it actually, does that. So we'll do a branch here. So it's going to be if tile is true, is not true. If tile is not true, then set this, otherwise set it to scale. And I need to put in this tile thing back. Noise tiling. So we got to save this thing, and that's going to require that whole recompile again. This looks like it's been going for quite a while today. But I definitely want to finish up at least this noise generator. I'm pretty happy with the progress we've got with the water so far. And it is no longer Friday, it is now Saturday. As it is now 1:30 in the morning. Which means one less day until the next Game of Thrones comes out. Because that's what's important, right? Like, it's just one of those things. It's pretty much mush at the end. Yeah. That was like one of those streams I did like 14 hours of coding, if you remember. It was just like, I'm finished at the end of that. Just like, there's nothing left upstairs. Ah, Carrot Can, you're spoiling everything. That's just, that's not okay. That's just, you know, I don't know about that. Still waiting for the books to come out. Like, how many years is he gonna? Is he not gonna finish writing The Winds of Winter or whatever the hell the last book's supposed to be? It's like, come on, man. You see, I like my mom's theory on Game of Thrones, is that J.R.R. Martin wrote himself into the story as Sam, and Sam is going to be the hero that like gets everything in the end. Because because it's actually the author. So it's just like this giant epic story about how in the end he's like, and then I win because I'm the hero. It's like, all right, I see how it is. It was one of the plot safe characters until now. It's true. Alright, so supposedly we have set these parameters, so if a tile is true, we can actually mess with the scale. So, let's change the scale down to like 2. And it totally looks like it's working. That is really cool, actually. Is it working? I mean, it looks like it's close to working. I guess you at least need to have a whole number for the scale to work properly with this thing. But that is a cool thing right there. We actually have noise texture maps that tile properly with normals and all that sort of craziness. So let's take a look at the other Noise types, we've got that type of noise, we've got fast gradient, which looks like trash, computational gradient, which looks alright actually, simplex. Our simplex gradients are just trash tier gradients, pretty much. We've got our other noise textures, like that. So I'm pretty happy with that. So we can actually create noise textures now using some nice little parameters, and then you can go see what they look like in the engine and the materials you're working with. Alright, so should we do... Should we do anything else here? Maybe we could set like the width and height for the render target as like a scale for this thing. I think maybe we might want an auto normal map sort of thing. Like maybe we should do the same thing with another tool here, where you can take a texture that we've made and then create a normal map for it using their built-in stuff. Because I'm gonna use these tools. Like, this is stuff that I can actually use. Like, Adam can use Photoshop and all the rest of that, you know, all that trash that he knows how to use, but I can make my own tools for stuff that I need. Yeah, let's make a normal map creator. Anyway, I'll be right back and I'll get started on that. So let's do that. Normal map creator object. So we're gonna need a material which will create a normal map and export it to a texture. So why don't we do noise generator? Let's make a normal generator. So we're gonna need a new blueprint, which will be normal generator. And we're going to need a render target. Should be normal render target. We'll need a texture. This will be our test blank texture. Then we'll have our material, which will be our normal render material. So let's go ahead and snag this stuff. Basically, we're going to have this right here. And this is going to be what? We'll do this alpha composite garbage. Alright, so this will be alpha composite and unlit. And this will be our normal texture, or I guess I'll say source texture. This will be test source texture and test out texture. I'll need to change the names. Test out texture. Alright, cool. So we got that rolling along. Alright, so inside of our actual object, we're going to want a bunch of different stuff. We're going to want our input material, our generation material. We're going to get our generation material instance. We're going to want our input texture. We want our output texture. So this is a texture 2D. This is a texture 2D as well. This is a material. This is a material instance dynamic. And we need a function. We're going to call it generate. Just call it pump, whatever. Alright, inside of our construction script, we are going to need to take our generation material, create dynamic material instance of it. And then we'll set our instance to that. And then what we're going to want to do is set the input texture properly. Alright, so it's going to be set texture parameter value. This is called source texture. And we'll need normal intensity and normal offset. Alright, so this will be a float. Call this normal intensity, normal offset. Both need to be floats. Alright, normal intensity, we'll have 16. We'll go from 0 to 128 for some reason. Normal offset, what did they give us, like 0.002? We'll take it from 0 to 0.1. See how that works. Come on, give me the information. So get these two guys for normal intensity and for normal offset. Cool. Alright, so what is this going to do? We've got our we need our render target object, so it's going to be a render target. Alright, so variables, so this will be our render target. Inside of here, it's going to be a render target. Render target 2D. Right there. So go to our noise generator. Draw material to render target, and we'll grab our material instance off of here, and then we need like a save function. So what does our save function do over here? We're just calling this sort of stuff. Alright, so we got our output texture, and we'll just call save. Sounds pretty simple to me. Alright, so I need the noise generator, preview material. Yeah, I guess I need all these materials the same way. We just need to set them a little bit differently. So I need all three again. So why don't we just do that? Oh, these are supposed to be just off of the parent. That's odd. Alright, so this one we're gonna call Alright, so this one's gonna be texture preview. This one will be called the lit preview. And this one will be called the normal preview. Oh, this is the normal preview. And it's kind of copy paste, but they're going to be used for different things, so they kind of should be different. Alright, so we need all these things again. So let's see, normal preview. Material. Texture preview material. And this is just kind of boring, tedious crap at the moment, but whatever. That's just how it goes sometimes. Alright, so for the texture preview, we're going to get this guy. So we got our lit preview. Create material instance, kind of dynamic material instance on it. Reset it. So this is called texture. This is texture and then normal. Alright, so we got set texture, parameter value. It's going to be called texture on the normal preview. And that value is going to be our normal texture, our output texture. This is going to be our input texture. So let's snag that. That'll be called texture, of course. And then that's the wrong material though. And this is texture and then normal, I believe. What the hell is it called? Yeah, normal. I always like to double check all that stuff, even if I already know what it should be, just because it's easy to accidentally make mistakes. Especially when you get tired working on stuff, you're like, what the hell am I doing? Oh yeah, I have no clue. Alright, so that should set up all of our variables. Alright, input texture is not set to anything. So this is our input texture should be set to this. Output texture should be set to this. This is our lit preview. Let's make sure to save stuff here real quick. Alright, so theoretically, I think we've got most everything together. Oh man, like working on this stuff and then like cooking it up and having it like not work and being like, well, I guess we'll just cook it up again using the exact same procedure. I must have messed something up. God, that would be so annoying. It's like waiting for Christmas Day, except instead of like having it be Christmas, having it be like the opposite of Christmas. Be like, you know, if you like might have bombed the test for no real reason, like you get random numbers. It's like when you graduate from high school or whatever, and you'd get your draft number assigned when you turned 18, and you're like, ah, shit, I'm going to Vietnam. Well, I guess I'll just join the Navy so I don't go sitting on the ground. Alright, so if we got this normal generator, we just throw this thing in here, rotate it around and all that fun stuff. Is there like a text component or something I can throw on here? Yeah, there's like a text render component I can add. So let's just add some text. This text is going to say super amazing normal generator. There we go. And we'll actually have a string here that you can set, which will have the actual text. So this will be text. This will be a string. And we're going to call this super amazing normal generator. Super amazing normals. The generator. Inside of our construction script, we will grab our text render. And is there a set text? I'll set it to this guy. No. Oh yeah, that's like labs in high school. Sometimes they work, sometimes they wouldn't. And you're like, well, why didn't it work? And be like, well, because, I don't know, you're a fucking idiot high school student. Like, yeah, damn, I forgot about that. It certainly couldn't be because half of the materials we're using were just garbage. Alright, so we got our noise stuff as well. Let's get a text render going out here. So let's get it going on. And the reason for this is we might actually set up like a little level with a whole bunch of little things in it like this. And you can see all the textures that we have, and the text might come in handy because then you could be like, oh, well, that's the water for, you know, like the cave noise or some shit. And then you can look at all these pieces and parts, kind of a cutting room floor sort of level. And this will be really valuable for that because then you can see like all the stuff at once. Alright, so we'll be able to do our normal generation and our other generation properly. And let's actually have like a different test input texture here. Let's actually grab something maybe from our characters. Like let's grab a fat sack animation. Well, that's not a very good sprite sheet for fat sack. This is a decent one for testing. We'll see what it looks like. It just doesn't work at all. Yeah, super amazing. Yeah, normals. Woo! Didn't fucking work. Alright, so why didn't work? Because the pump stuff is not actually calling save as far as I can tell. So if we went to like our render target, nothing's doing anything. So it's all trash. So let's call save from in here. Generation material. Alright, so our generation material is nothing. So obviously that's not correct. We need this normal render material. So those will be our normals. And then we can see stuff on here with our really shitty normals coming off of our dude. That's a really bad test texture. I should get a better test texture than that. Let's see if there's anything that's like halfway decent in the materials. Yeah, like one of these maybe. I think its ground smudge might be a pretty good. Or we could do the moss. Let's try this moss texture actually. Didn't really do a whole hell of a lot, did it? Are we actually passing these things in properly? Though I guess at the same time, these noise textures generate much better normal maps because they're noise. And this is just kind of like whatever garbage, trash stuff that we've got going on. I mean, that looks like it could work. Alright, so let's just go look at Yeah, I think this will be a better representation, perhaps. Alright, so I don't think I'm actually passing in this stuff properly for all of this. So in the normal generator, we should have in the construction script, we should be passing in the scalar values. Yeah, see the parameter names are blank. So we need normal intensity and the normal offset passed in. So we can, you know, pump up the normals. Make them all look real dumb. Make it look real shitty. And I want the same thing over here. So let's do that. Let's hook up in the noise generator. We're going to need the normal intensity and the normal offset. So we'll default this to 16. We'll do it from 0 to 128. That seemed to work pretty well last time. Normal offset was 0.002. And let's just do it from 0 to 0.1. And then we'll go into our setting of parameters for materials. This will be normal intensity and our normal offset. Save that out. So you can have, you know, wicked, ridiculous normals on here. Or you can have no normals. What happens with this offset stuff? Oh, interesting. So you can have like all this nutso stuff. Looks like it's an offset X and an offset Y. So it looks like it's going to take the texture, kind of like move it, and then do like an auto normal on it. It's like it's time to clean that water bottle. I'll be right back. Well, I might want an offset X and Y. Let me just take a look at it real quick. In the material. Spread used to derive the height of the scalar default is 0.005. Nah, it's not something we need to worry about too much. Alright, let's organize these variables a little bit. So, if we're on the noise texture, we've got all this stuff inside of default, which we kind of want to put inside of generation. Actually, I kind of want to put this inside of... Yeah, this isn't going to be this is going to be noise. So we'll have noise, and then we'll have text, perhaps. Or how about if we just have input? And the render target, I guess we don't need these inside a default. Let's just call it rendering. Alright, so that's pretty cool. Alright, we're going to delete some of these things. Let's see, I want to get rid of this test source texture. So let's try to replace the references. This might take a little while, it's got to compile a bunch of shaders. How many times do I have to click yes? Just fucking do it. Alright, so click all this. So I need to edit this blueprint here for the normal generation. We need to set stuff up so it's a little bit nicer to work with. So this is going to be under generation. What did I put the other things under? Just the text. And then I guess rendering for some of these. Maybe we shouldn't overwrite rendering. I should just have generation for some of these things. Because this one's at least simpler. It doesn't have like noise and everything else.